Right now on NBC 26 Live at 10, remembering a man killed in the line of fire in a standoff with police at a motorcycle shop 1 year ago. Cheers and victory dances in North Dakota today after months of protesting an oil pipeline on an Indian reservation. And the green and gold bring home a win on their home turf. We have all the highlights. Well, tomorrow marks nearly 1 year since a deadly standoff in Neenah took the life of Michael Funk. You'll remember Funk worked at Eagle Nation Cycles when Brian Flatoff took the employees hostage, resulting in a shootout with police. Today, people gathered at a memorial outside the motorcycle shop to remember Funk. NBC 26's Billy Wagner was there, and he has more on that story.
Raquel, tomorrow is the 1 year anniversary of Funk's death, but friends and organizers of tonight's memorial service say they wanted it to be on Sunday so anyone in the community could be free to attend. Now, today's gathering is really being hailed by Funk's friends as a celebration of Funk's life. You'll remember a Department of Justice investigation claims Funk was mistaken for an armed hostage by police who fatally shot him last year. Since then, a wrongful death lawsuit has been filed by Funk's wife, and 1 year later, those who knew him say they're still healing.
Well, I guess there has been very little to help us in the healing process, and I think this is one of the few things that have been done that could go in that direction. I mean, because there's still a lot of questions that go unanswered.
Meanwhile, the DOJ says both officers investigated for shooting Funk were determined not criminally responsible for his death. Hostage taker Brian Flatoff, meanwhile, faces 16 felony charges, including felony murder for the standoff and gunfight with police. Reporting in Neenah, keeping you connected, Billy Wagner, NBC 26.
A Greenleaf man is facing 2 counts of homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle, appearing in court tomorrow. 17-year-old Devin Robley is accused of driving high and causing a crash, killing 2 people. Robley allegedly T-boned an SUV in New Denmark back in July. The attorney for Green Bay Mayor Jim Schmidt is announcing they will talk to the media after their court hearing tomorrow. The mayor is facing charges for violations of campaign financing rules. He's accused of accepting contributions over the legal limit and accepting corporate money while campaigning for his seat as mayor.
The snow has stopped across northeast Wisconsin. Maybe a lingering flurry or a little bit of freezing drizzle through the overnight hours, but the accumulating snow is done across northeast Wisconsin. It's going to be a mild start to the week. We're going to melt some of this snow at least tomorrow and as well as Tuesday with highs in the upper 30s. And then our first big Arctic blast of the season arrives on Wednesday. It turns much colder for the rest of the week, and we even have more snow potentially in the forecast for next weekend. Your forecast, though, tomorrow on Monday, a mix of clouds and some sunshine. It'll be a mild day with highs climbing into the upper 30s, a few spots up around 40. We'll talk more about that and take a look at some snowfall totals from today coming up in just a bit. Raquel?
Covering America, the Army Corps of Engineers says it won't grant an easement for the Dakota Access Oil Pipeline in southern North Dakota. Upon hearing the news, cheers and victory dances could be seen by those who have been demonstrating against the 4-state oil pipeline, which as of right now is about 85% completed. Assistant Secretary for Civil Works Joellen Darcy said her decision was based on the need to, quote, explore alternate routes, end quote, for the pipeline's crossing.
You know, I'm just thankful that there were some leaders in the federal government who realized that something is not right, even though it's legal, and heard for the first time in history American Indian issues, heard our voices, and had the courage to take the initiative and make the right decision.
The Army Corps of Engineers' decision comes after months of prayer, marches, and clashes between protesters and law enforcement. Well, it's a tragic scene in Oakland, California, as 3 more bodies are found in a warehouse fire, bringing that total to 33 lives lost. The fire broke out in the warehouse during an electronic dance party on Friday night. Officials say it could take weeks to identify the victims, who they say range from ages 17 to 30. Investigators say about 40% of the building has been searched, and they expect the number of lives lost to increase.
They're not all in one area, and we thought that maybe going into this that they would all be in one area, but we are finding people throughout the entire square footage of that structure.
Now, officials say the district attorney has activated a criminal investigation team to be on site, but they say this is part of protocol. The cause of that fire is still unknown tonight. Well, scary moments for some United Express plane passengers after nose gear collapsed while landing. A passenger posted this cell phone video of the announcement made as the plane came in for a landing. Authorities say the passengers were evacuated safely using emergency slides. The ashes of former Cuban leader Fidel Castro were buried in the eastern city of Santiago today. The ceremony was private, but afterwards people were allowed inside the cemetery to see Castro's tomb. The burial marks the end of a 9-day mourning period in Cuba. Well, Packers fans at Lambeau Field today dressed for the weather that comes with the frozen tundra. Many cheeseheads were replaced by wool hats. Fans say they're typically used to a few snowy games by now, but the winter weather didn't stop them from lighting the grills and staying warm by the fires.
Yeah. First one of the year. Cold one. Wet one, too.
It's very wet.
I don't think we dress for the weather.
No. We should know better.
Yeah.
Packer fans say they feel the snow helped give them the green and gold competitive edge against Houston, but the win was thanks to more than just that weather, although I'm sure that helped, right, Andy?
Just a little bit. Well, thanks. If the snow at Lambeau Field is wrong, well, then I don't want to be right. This is what December football in Green Bay is supposed to look like as the Packers return to home to Lambeau Field for the first time in nearly a month. And well, they took care of the Texans. The Packers are back at 500 now as Mike McCarthy, Santa, and heck, even a guy in a coyote hat keeping warm at Lambeau. In the second, Aaron Rodgers scrambles some more and finds Randall Cobb for the first score of the game. And the wide receiver does his best celebration, the Snow Angel. That looks good. Green Bay still led 7-0 into the second half, but the Texans, they tied up in the third on 4th and 1. Brock Osweiler to Ryan Griffin, and it's all even at 7. Then with the Packers offense backed up, Green Bay comes through, goes 98 yards and 89 yards on back-to-back drives. This one finishes with a Jordy Nelson touchdown, and the Packers win 21-13. And for more on that win, we go back out to Lambeau Field with Charlie Sakaitis.
This is what Lambeau Field is known for. The snow, the frozen tundra, the cold, and of course, winning Packers football. Today in the locker room after the game, the players were all talking about what it's like to play in these elements.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I've never played in snow before. First time really seeing snow like anywhere really was at the Combine, and then last year here. So to play in some snow was different.
Well, that was a good bad weather win. A lot of fun to play in that type of atmosphere at Lambeau Field. A lot of ways that's what it's supposed to be.
It was pretty cool. I mean, I don't think it was as cold as I expected it to be, but I mean, it was pretty fun out there.
Honestly, for 9 years here, I think I've played in maybe 2 or 3 snow games. I don't think I've ever played in a game that snowed like this the whole time. So you kind of have to feel it out. Everything's different. I think guys learned with the cleats. I thought the field was honestly probably in the best shape it's been all year.
It felt good. It felt good to be back here and be able to play in front of the guys. Snow was fun.
And next week, the weather is expected to be similar. The Packers again will be hosting here at Lambeau. They'll have Seattle coming in, and hopefully they'll have the same kind of outcome as we got today. From Lambeau Field, I'm Charlie Sakaitis for NBC 26.
Thanks. Coming up on Sports Rewind, we go inside the Packers locker room on the performance of a guy you may have heard of him, Aaron Rodgers. Back to you.
Well, still ahead on NBC 26, Packers fans are helping the Marines help kids in our area in a yearly Lambeau Field tradition. But first, what is the weather looking like as we head into the work week? Your forecast is next.